saw you dancing like heavy smoke. Have you fixed that treasured heart that's so broke? Here is a tape, follow me, give this a meaning. Do you wanna feel the rush when somebody is listening? Heaven is getting closer to the earth, and someday I'll set you free, I promise. There's no time to lose, the world is closing in, and we're still here. We are, so what's the rush? Feeling like a dream. Could we be crying for tonight? We lost but never found. Fear is not around. We can turn this world around. This will be the end of treason as we know it. This will be the death of anger, 'cause we won't show it. Here is some safe, follow me, give this a meaning. Do you wanna feel the rush when somebody's listening? Heaven is getting closer to the earth, and someday I'll set you free, I promise. There's no time to lose, the world is closing in, and we're still here. We are alone, so what's the rush? Feeling like a dream. Could we be crying for tonight? We lost but never found. Fear is not around. We can turn this world around. I saw you dancing like heavy smoke. Have you fixed that treasured heart that's so broke? Here is a tape, follow me, give this a meaning. Do you wanna feel the rush when somebody is listening? Heaven is getting closer to the earth, and someday I'll set you free, I promise. There's no time to lose, the world is closed.
What's up, Vape fam? Hope everybody's doing good. It's like William OG is in the chat, Birdman, Nick420, and MTLHC so far. I figured Tim would be in here, but he might show up at some point. So what we're doing tonight, we got 4 builds on the docket, so to speak. All of them are going on mechs. 2 of them are a V1 and V2 of the same atomizer, being an RDA for vaping. Want to do those because, for one, I've not built up an RDA for vaping V1 in a while. V2 I use pretty regularly, but I wanted to go ahead and do both of them, kind of compare and contrast between the two. And also with Quilter talking about possibly doing a revision of the V1. This kind of made me want to build it up since he'd been talking about that. Now, in that same post that he did, myself and a few other people actually said they would rather see different style AFC rings for the V2, which is something I thought would have already been released a long time ago. I thought it was kind of the initial release of it with the colors and all that. And then you were going to start to see more AFC rings. Because if you're not familiar with it, when we get to building it, I'll show you what I mean. But it has a very unique airflow system where pretty much the entire airflow system comes out. It's just like a ring that's sandwiched between the base of the top cap and the screw on top where your 810 is. So yeah, you could completely change out how the airflow works with just a simple ring. So you could do it kind of mimic the original's 3-hole, 3-2, 1-hole design. You could do smaller honeycomb designs. You could have it to where it compresses the chamber in even farther, or specific ones that compress it in so far it's more designed for single coil, something along those lines. And there's probably way more that you could do I just have not thought of. But I thought for sure that's what he was doing. And then it never happened. And I was like, man, that's kind of a waste. It is such a great atomizer, but it just doesn't quite hit what it could have been had various AFC rings eventually been released. Anyway, here, up close, this is what we're doing. So we're going to do the nitrous. We're actually going to put a mech build in it. I was going to do some frame staples in there because that's what I did last time I built this up for a mech. But I actually have some aliens that should come out to about 0.11, sometimes 0.12. So we're going to do those. They will be 3mm ID. That's normally what I put in this if I'm going to build it for a mech. That or Twisted Timmy's has some coils called Lucky 7s. They are 2.5mm. They come out to 0.11. They work amazing in the nitrous for a mechanical mod. But I ran out of those. So we're going to go with 3mm ID right around 0.11, 0.12. And yeah, Bertie, I agree. Missed opportunity on the RDA for vaping V2 being this one right here. I'm going to put it on the Vert 2 from Unicorn Vapes. The V1 I always put on the Vindicator usually because it just works so well together. And I dig kind of the 3 holes, and then you've got kind of the vent holes for the Vindicator up top there. I don't know. I always think it looks pretty good. And the metal kind of knurled drip tip that it comes with, I just think it looks great. Drop V2. I have not built this one up in forever. For the longest time, this was always in my rotation somewhere. I really, really dig this RDA a lot. I just haven't built it up in quite a while. We might switch this drip tip out. I don't know why I had that big, huge one on there. Then this is the Trishul V2 from Hell Vape. I was not a fan of the original Trishul, but the V2, I'm kind of a big fan of. It has a very unique magnetic switch that kind of works opposite of most magnetic switches, but we'll take a look at that. But yeah, I really dig this one. I have a copper one as well, but with the drop, I figured the black one would work a lot better. All right, jump back up top for now. I'm going to pick these up. Obviously, we're not going to build these on a mech. If I get hate mail on building it 0.08 or 0.07, imagine the hate mail I get if I built on a mech. Although I don't ever really do that, except for the Ruby, because you don't really have a choice with that one. You have to do it that way. But yeah, so those are the 4 that we're going to build out tonight. Do have a bit of a smorgasbord still. Vaping the Anunnaki on top of the Ampere 21 from EDC Mods. Become one of my favorite setups. I absolutely love this. Been vaping my Sorteal's vanilla custard. Absolutely amazing RDA. And it works so well with this mechanical mod. Yeah, I really, really dig that art, so much so I bought another one and I need to buy another one. I got another black one essentially because I knew I was going to want to keep one on this setup, but I also want to put one on this right here, 02 from Zero Mods. I like the Asgard Mini V2 on here, but I really want the black Anunnaki on here. Got it in the other day, haven't built it up yet or stuck it on here, obviously. Still got the Asgard Mini V2. I love this mech. Go hit up Tony. Actually, I'd say most people in chat probably already have one or one on the way, or are well versed in how to get a hold of Tony. This one I'm vaping my white chocolate caramel squares. Pretty much a liquid that's always in rotation for me. And then another nitrous on top of the snowdrift. This snowdrift, when Dan sent it along with this right here, the Avalanche V3, because he wanted me to try it out, and it has become a daily driver for me. This is like my work mod now. I really dig this thing. I love that it's a Yeehee chip. Got my sour blue raspberry lemonade in here. Does your Anunnaki fire on the V2? This V2 with the beauty ring? I have not tried it yet. If you're talking about the 02, okay. I don't know. Let's try it. Let's give it a go. I'm going to loosen the battery catch here so we don't do something terrible. Oh, no, it doesn't. It does not. Huh. Wow. There it goes. It wasn't quite tightened down all the way. So yeah, it does. But it's weird. Like I had to give it one more crank to really go all the way down. I don't normally like tightening atomizers that tight. So yeah, it works. You just have to tighten it real tight. I did kind of adjust the base of the sled a little bit, but not much at all. And all right, so it works. It just gotta really tighten it. That kind of sucks. Slap this back on its home. I'm glad I knew that before building the other one up. Would have been highly disappointed. And I'm not going to put the beauty ring back on here. Now, if you remember in the review of this, I talked about using this beauty ring with the Asgard Mini V2. I was thinking that with the beauty ring on the Asgard Mini V2, it came up to 28 millimeters like the V1, and it doesn't. It is slightly smaller. So it doesn't fill up the entirety of that little beauty ring. You got to kind of set it in there, make sure it's lined up, then tighten it down. It's kind of a pain in the ass. I had it that way, but I wasn't about to do it in the review, so I was just like, eh. Which I think that's weird that it doesn't doesn't come out to 28 millimeters. That's just odd. Tim, what's going on, brother? It's how far the pin protrudes through the 510 plate. Well, I was kind of feeling under there. it goes down further than the sled does in there, but not by much. I'd say definitely if you had a battery that had any type of indentation on the positive plate, it wouldn't fire at all. Period, without that beauty ring removed. But it's definitely close. It's like just barely. Oh, that's good. All right. What else on the smorgasbord? Another nitrous, unregulated. This is the Endura from Watofo with my pink lemonade. I'd said raspberry lemonade, and kind of the Instagram teaser to the live stream. We're kind of talking about what we were going to do. I'm not going to do a mix on it. I will show you the recipe because it changed. Basically, when I tested it for the second time, I wasn't getting a whole lot of raspberry, but I noticed something. So here's the, well, not the name of the recipe. There we go. All right, so yeah, the Flavora pink lemonade and the Flavora lemonade on the original were flipped. So like Flavora lemonade was 3, pink lemonade was 1, and premium raspberry from SSA was 2. But it had no raspberry to it whatsoever. But what it did do was it kind of enhanced pink lemonade. So I was like, well, let's flip them again and then see how it does. And premium raspberry really pumps up Flavora's pink lemonade. What it comes across as is a pink lemonade. Like, I don't know, outside the US, I don't know, but we have Country Time lemonade. They have a pink version that definitely tastes different than the regular lemonade that they offer. But you know, just like any pink lemonade, you can't hardly tell what the difference is. Is it raspberry? Is it strawberry? Is it just food coloring? What is it? So with this one, it's raspberry. You can taste a little bit of raspberry somewhere in this recipe, but it's faint. It's really just a nice, sweet pink lemonade. And because of the way it all kind of worked out, I had another flavor in here that wasn't really doing much. So I took it out and decided to make it a 3-2-1, which I have not seen many of those in a while. I kind of mentioned it in the description. I don't see many 3-2-1 recipes these days. And this one didn't start out that way, but it kind of ended up that way. But I really dig this one. And being a 3-2-1 means it's simple to make. All right, jump back up here. Be careful you don't get arcing on the battery. Yeah, that's a good point. Surely I didn't get any from just a couple. Nah. Might have to see what I need to adjust with the other one as far as stick the Anunnaki on here, the other Anunnaki that I have, to make sure that doesn't happen. But yeah, pink lemonade. Where'd it go? So yeah. I dig this recipe a lot. I do put sweetener in it. I didn't put sweetener in the 3-2-1 because I never see sweetener in 3-2-1s. Figure, pick your own. I went higher than I normally do with that particular recipe. Normally, if I'm using super sweet, either Perillum or Capella's, like 0.5 is the max. 0.5% is the max. Actually went 0.75 with Perillum super sweet in that, and it did wonders. Turnstone looks like it's going to be awesome for series. It definitely does. I'm really interested in that thing. I need to order one. I dig the airflow insert to me on that thing. Almost looks like a chimney from an RTA that's just been redesigned and shrunk for an RDA. So I'm really curious how flavor is on that particular 30 millimeter, just because of that kind of airflow insert. It really looks more like a chimney to me than the usual type of airflow inserts. I'm super curious about that one. All right. And of course, the Avalanche V3. I actually have my, on this one, I'm vaping my Sour Blue Raspberry Lemonade. On this one, I'm vaping the V2 version of this that takes out a few things from the original recipe and adds another blue raspberry. It actually adds Bull City Flavors' new blue raspberry flavor to this, mixed with Wonder Flavors blue raspberry candy. What's up, Apex Predator? I really dig it. Blue raspberry, like with this one, it's definitely a blue raspberry lemonade, but the blue raspberry isn't super punchy. And what's there is definitely kind of candy. Like you had a lemonade and you dropped a bunch of, like blue raspberry Jolly Ranchers or some candy like that into it and let them dissolve. Definitely is in that realm. This one is more like you had blue raspberry slushy syrup or icy syrup and you put it into a lemonade. I want the Mercy for sure. The Haiti V2 looks more interesting to me than the original, but still kind of series focused. But I don't know. I'm super interested in the Mercy. He did some last minute updates to that too that I think are going to be really cool. So yeah, I'm pumped for that one to get released. I want that the Turnstone. It's one that I actually want in stainless steel just because I think it'll look great on both the stainless steel Sidekick and the stainless steel Ampere 21 that I have. 80 works very well. The original one, I love the look of it. He also has a newer mech mod over there. I mean, newer, I think it's been on the site for a couple of months, but I've really been eyeballing that one. I cannot remember what it's called, but it looks absolutely amazing. All right, let me move some of this out of the way so I can grab regulated mod and we can get started. See how much battery our old Hadron Plus has. Should be enough for this. I could have cleaned it up a little beforehand. All right, let's do the nitrous first. Well, maybe. One of the downsides of the Dreamer is your RDA never wants to come off of there because it gets stuck. Oh, Lord. So what happens, your RDA gets stuck to your 510 top plate. Here we go. As you go to try and turn it off, this just comes off. Downside to the Dreamer, and why I was really hoping when they did the clutch. Like I specifically emailed Times Vape and I was like, don't do what you did on the Dreamer as far as the various top caps. Use rings or something along those lines because it's too big an issue as far as it getting stuck. And I've had them get really stuck where I actually had to use something to grip the RDA and the 510 of the Dreamer there. Kind of had to use cloth to put over it, and then grab it with grippers and finally turn it. This is a nightmare. I thought I was going to mess up both the top cap there and my atomizer. Really, really sucked. All right. Let me grab screwdriver and our coils. Like I said, these are some aliens. Each one is 0.22. See how far back I got these. Oh, these almost not at all. All right. Cut our leg leads. I'm going to go with 5, which is normally what I go with. Sometimes with the dual coil, I will go 4.5, but this we're going to go 5. I had some, where are they at? These right here. Pendulum coils. They're 2.5 millimeter, coming out to 0.25. But I wanted to go a little bit lower than that would have been. And I'm not exactly sure just what it would have come out to, because those coils are wrapped with the legs going opposite directions. And I bent them or wrapped them to both be going downwards. And I'm not sure what it would have come out to at that point. Probably higher than I wanted. There's one. Hang on this thing. All right. Grab my screwdriver. I don't know if anybody else does this, but when I'm screwing down leg leads on certain atomizers, I won't like screw one grub screw tight all the way down. I'll get it somewhat there, at least where I know it's starting to pinch the leg lead. Then I'll start to tighten the other just so it doesn't move around. I've had too many coils that move, but not in a good way, where the actual leg being inserted will move too much and the grub screw isn't clamping down on it enough. So I kind of got in the habit of well, come on back out of there a little bit more. Actually, I think I might have to move this coil outwards a little bit. So I've got room. There we go. Okay. One's a little higher up than the other one. There we go. It's a little bit better. Now with this one being both of them 3 millimeter, I'm gonna make sure this is catching that leg properly. It looks like it. They have to be close together. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just because you don't have a whole lot of space. But I mean, I could move them apart even a little bit more at this point. Yeah, nothing's touching. That looks good. One thing to worry about if you're doing the nitrous and kind of dual coil with 3 millimeter ID coils is heat. Is it gonna get crazy hot super fast? And it depends on, obviously, on the resistance and just how big the 3mm ID coils you're using are. Come on. I hate 0.1 watt increments. I wish the Evolve app would recognize the Hadron Plus. Because I'm trying to go in there with eScribe and undo that, where it only did 0.1 watt increments up until you got over, say, 30 watts, and then just go 1 watt at a time. But every time I try and plug it into my computer, eScribe does not see it. Got my glasses on this time. I don't know if you guys noticed the last couple of streams, I did not have my glasses. No, I did not get contacts. My glasses literally fell apart on my skull. I put them on just before work and heard a crack, and they just crumbled off my face. So I had to get new ones. They had to get built, the lenses at least. And I didn't go through my eye doctor this time because they charge outrageous for the crap you get. That's the second pair of glasses from my eye doctor that just fell apart on my face. There we go. All right. Came out to 0.1. And that is perfectly acceptable. Grab some Pro Vape cotton. Vaping FDH strawberry cannoli right now. It's pretty dang good. That sounds good. Any cannoli recipe usually probably sounds good to me. I have a hazelnut cannoli recipe that I really dig. I like the top cap because I flipped the switch. What are we talking about? Birdman, you take it easy. Long gone. Tell him to take it easy. He's been gone for a minute. Love hazelnut. Yeah, hazelnut is damn good. What is FDH? Is that a FDH? I'm probably going to feel stupid when you tell me. It'll be one of those things. Oh, I should have known that. Then again, if it's a newer commercial brand, I probably have no idea about it. I'll look on like Timmy's site sometimes at Liquids or Vaping Delights, Mike's site. Whoop. And there'll be companies on there that I'm like, who is this? I'm out of the commercial juice game too long. Looks good. All right, get these. These right here, what I'm talking about when I say I'm just trying to get the scissor clumps out. Somebody actually asked me one time what the hell I was talking about. And it's those right there. or it just clumps together from where you cut it with scissors. It won't wick as good right in those portions if you don't break that up. From the Hood. Oh, mixed by Kaz. I want some From the Hood liquid. Sounds dope as fuck. Especially if it's strawberry cannoli. Do our Mike Vapes flip. Screw the last one up. It's all right though. So OCD with my quick jobs. I'll fix it. By God. All right, I think that looks good. Our excess cotton off there. Didn't even think what I want to use for this one. Something that I'm going to keep vaping on. So let's go with watermelon lemonade. I'm on a huge lemonade kick. I'm sorry, guys. You're like, damn it, another fucking lemonade? I am. I'm on a big lemonade kick. I guess because it's getting closer to spring. Even though I'm not a big spring and summer guy. I'm very much a winter person, fall and winter. But certain things about spring and summer, I'm just not a heat guy. I cannot take heat. Too much heat, especially like here in Kentucky, it's not just the heat. The humidity is absolutely insane and it gets suffocating. And I can't, it wears me out. It's like it drains me completely. Things that I could do in the fall or winter, like outside, and do it all day long, I might be able to do for an hour or two at most in summer. Since it's saying I hate summer. Apparently my chat was disconnected. Said, chat disconnected, please wait while we try to reconnect you. And then immediately said, successfully reconnected. So that's good. Our normal humidity is like 90 with 30 degrees Celsius. That sounds about like Kentucky. At least in the dead of, I don't know, what is 30 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit? That depends on what it is. Although we have plenty of, say, over 100 degrees Fahrenheit days. But the average is probably in the 90s during the summer with anywhere from 85 to 90, maybe 92% humidity. It's insane. Tim, you're a Kiwi, aren't you? You're in New Zealand? Is that right? All right, I think that looks good. Throw our top cap back on here. Bam. 86 it says. Actually, I don't need that beauty ring just yet. We'll leave it off while we vape on it on the mod here. All right, jump back up. Our watermelon lemonade. Oh, I'm gonna have to switch batteries in this thing. I thought I had plenty of juice, but apparently not. All right. Oh man, that's good. There's something about the nitrous. Like, I don't know. Bertie said at one point, he was doing well, he wasn't doing the Anunnaki build. He was just showing it off. I think it was either the last live stream or the one before. He had already done his build of the Anunnaki. And I guess he was talking about my opinion on it and saying, you know, that I had said I like the nitrous better than the Anunnaki, which I do. And then also kind of that my reasoning behind it was flavor, which is true. It's not all of it, but it's probably the biggest thing is flavor. Oh, it dropped it down. Why? But then, and Birdie's not the only one I've heard say this. And I don't think he meant it necessarily this way, but where people will say, well, it's a 22, of course the flavor's better. I can name a lot of 22 millimeter atomizers that have absolutely terrible flavor or almost none. And then I look at it more as a 22 that can do dual coils that has extremely good flavor. Oh, that's really good. All right, that's at 70 watts. Let's crank it up. Let's just crank it up to 100 because I'm anxious to get this on. Not that high. I'm anxious to get this on the Dreamer. This is kind of one of my favorite setups is the orange nitrous on the orange Dreamer. Probably need a little more liquid. Man, that's good. Yeah, it's not screaming and yelling at me. I think we're good. Move these dead batteries out of the way. And also, if it's a 22 that only does single coil, it's probably never going to be one of my favorites. I like single coil. I use single coil for like recipe testing, things like that. But I don't super enjoy it for everyday use. Like I'm probably never going to walk around with my primary all-day vape being a single coil setup. The vapor production is just not enough for me. All right. There we go. Very good. Dig this setup. Like I said, the only thing you kind of have to worry about or just keep an eye on is the top cap on the nitrous getting hot. Once you put dual 3 millimeter ID coils and slap it on a mech, you're going to use 2.5s. You don't have to worry about that near as much. So like, and I always recommend the Twisted Timmy's, the what are they called, the Lucky Sevens. They are 2.5 millimeter. They come out to like 0.11. They're absolutely perfect for this thing, and you don't really have to worry so much about your top cap getting hot. But with 3 millimeters, especially aliens, you know, anything above a Clapton or a dual coil fuse Clapton, where they're just a little bit bigger, going to take up more space, you kind of got to worry about it. This one is copper. I think all of mine are copper, except I do have a stainless steel one. My Lord. Flavor galore. All right. I will show you guys this just in the up and close. I wish the oranges matched up a little bit better, but I'm really not going to complain. I do have this, but that orange is almost more off than this one. But yeah, I think it looks sick. Commerce Powders did an amazing job with this streamer, so very, very happy. This is one of my favorite setups that I own. You have 2 aluminum ones? I didn't even know they made aluminum Dreamers. The only ones I've ever seen are copper, stainless steel, and maybe brass. Yeah, I'm gonna set that off to the side, or I will just keep vaping on it the entire stream and never get to the other ones. We'll save the the RDA for vapings for the end. So we'll do the drop V2 next with the Trishul V2. Bunch of V2s in this live stream. And like I said, this is one, when I got it, I just used it constantly. It was always on a setup. Let's get rid of this crazy drip tip. That drip tip is a bit much. What do you have on you there? Wonder if you'll sit down on this. Let's see. Yeah, that's better. All right. So yeah, when the Drop V1 came out, a bunch of people just ranted and raved about it. I dig the Drop V1. But I don't know. I kind of more fell in love with the V2. Similar style deck to the V1. Just kind of 4 posts. Your coils drop down. That's why it's called the drop. And you can cut them from underneath. Although usually I pre-cut my coil legs anyway. And your airflow, you just have an absolute ton of it. Get it apart. There we go. So yeah, ton of options for it. Dig that. Kind of a weird just having that much. Say if you had it wide open. But it works. It works for the thing. Drops are definitely underrated. I love them. Yeah, I agree. The V3, I wasn't super. Actually, the only thing I didn't like about the V3, I wasn't super keen on the look of it. And I wasn't keen on the fact that the airflow control in the top cap was machine pressed in there. You could not get it out. It was just the way it was. And that was it. So I was kind of worried, like over time, once, you know, so much juice gets in there between the airflow adjustment and the top cap, and then you let it sit, or maybe you couldn't clean it well enough, is it going to stick on you? But I've kind of found out over the last couple of years that that doesn't really happen. And the one time it did somewhat happen with me, I just soaked the top cap in extremely hot water and it was fine. I was kind of worried for nothing. I'm going to clean up this excess liquid a little bit. All right. We're going to use some Tricore fuse Claptons with this one. That off to the side. And I'm going to hydrate. What's up, Cicero? OG Hatman, thank you. It is a boss setup. I dig that whole Nitrous setup with the Dreamer. Just got in a Rekka Tropical Lychee this week. Mixed the right pair, Anton Apple, Thai Apple, and Tropical Lychee for a quick profile color test. And wow, that Lychee is unbelievable. Rekka's got some that, like, they've got a few kind of hidden gems in their offerings. That one I've never had. But now that you say it, I might have to try it. All right, we're going to pre-cut these, but essentially why it's called the drop, I'm sure most of you already know. You can kind of drop it in, get the height that you want, clamp it down, and you've got enough room to cut the excess leg leads. I don't ever do that. I just cut them where I want them. So we're probably going to go 5. Sometimes I go higher on this just because the airflow is so high up. But We're going to do that right there. Kind of hold on to it. Yeah. And once we get it tight down, we're going to raise it some too. Honestly, might have gone. No, that's good. Oh, yeah. I would say 5 or 6, depending on how much you kind of want to sit there and hold it, and whether or not you want it dead center, more to the top, more to the bottom. You could do these, it looks like. Yeah, you could. You could cut these at 4, slam them all the way to the posts, tighten them down, and then just pick them up with your coiling rod, and it would work just fine. I always do move these somewhat towards the middle. Wait, I didn't cut my leg leads. Instead of having it like as close to the airflow as I can get. Again, kind of like I did with the Anunnaki build on the live stream. I want to get some of my dripping to fall directly on the coil as well. So with these kind of where it's just so open in the middle, atomizers like this, the Anunnaki's one, the Asgard Mini V1 and V2 are the same. Kali V3 or Kali V2. Lord, I'm blind. With those, I always kind of settle for somewhere in the middle. I'm not gonna push them together, like cut the leg leads super long, push them together where they're practically touching, but I do want them to lean forward towards the center some. Way I get a little bit of what I'm dripping on them, but they're also fairly close to the airflow. All right. I think that leg lead went down too much. Sure did. All right, there we go. That's better. So yeah, about right there. Probably pull this one a little bit more inwards. And that's about where I like it. I do sometimes pull them up more, but for the most part, this is kind of the way I like them. Definitely don't want to fire these at 100 watts. Steve-O, what's going on, brother? I got to try and pay attention to Champ more. Recca Vanilla Custard will blow your mind a little too. I wasn't expecting it to be good. Only bought 30 milliliters. Needless to say, I bought 120 a few days later. Sleepers for sure. The vanilla custard I have tried, and I really dig that one as well. I got a mango. I think it's got, I want to say it has some cooling in it that I actually liked. I don't know if they still have that one or not, but I've always heard good things about their mango. we're doing good. I want to better. Turned out a little blue, but more kind of, there's some blue in them. But I'm not getting any hot spots, so I think I'm all right. Came out to 0.1 on the money, where they're supposed to be. One thing with this, you do need kind of longer leg leads than most RDAs, I would say. This poor tub of the Pro Vape cotton, like it got wrapped weird. And so when I'm trying to find where the starting point for the cotton is, when I first opened it, it was like in between. I had to pick up the whole top bunch and find it, flip it over. And then even as I was kind of taking some out, eventually it got to this kind of rat's nest that you see here. It's weird. It's the only one I've ever found that did that. Most of those tubes are pretty well wrapped up in there. Are those the Thunder? No, these are the Thundercloud, the recoil ones. I actually had some Chappies coils. They were fused Claptons that I was going to put in the Nitrous. I really was thinking about doing those in there. I didn't know what they came out to resistance was. They were an older pair of his where he didn't put the resistance on it. He just put the gauge. The way he wrote it on there was kind of confusing me. So I messaged him and I was like, hey, can you give me an idea of what these come out to? He answered back pretty quick too. He was like, oh, those are old. Said, I haven't done any type of fused Claptons in a while. I think they were, I want to say they were tricores as well. But turns out they would have been perfect because they came out to like 0.1 or something like that. But then I kind of remembered I had those aliens. So I decided to go with those instead. And I'd used those aliens in it before and didn't really have a problem as far as the top cap getting too hot because of them. I still have those Twisted Timmy's 10-ply FSS. And we're going to do those live at some point. I have a couple of sets of them, so I'm really thinking about putting one set in the Asgard Mini V1. So I will probably, I don't know if you guys saw, I did an Instagram post where I asked if people would rather see my top 10 favorite atomizers of all time as kind of a pre-recorded, edited video, or if you would rather see it all done live, where I would build like maybe the top 4 or 5 favorites of mine, and then the rest of them I would just have done up already and just kind of talk about them, why they are in the position they're at, why they didn't get higher, why they're not lower. And then it was kind of a joke too, was, you know, then if we did it live, you guys could join in, ask questions, and also tell me how utterly ridiculously wrong I am about my choices and placements. All right, for this one, we're going to use the strawberry cheesecake shake. For some reason with this RDA, like creams especially, bakeries too, but really like custards, ice creams, milkshakes, cheesecakes, they just do amazing. I should probably open the bottle up. They do amazing in this RDA. I had an old recipe called, what was it? Not Quite So Plain Jane Vanilla Milkshake. I did an old DIY episode where I had a recipe called Plain Jane Vanilla Milkshake. Kind of a starter recipe for people. Easy. It used easily attainable flavorings. And then I did a souped up version of it. I used to vape that out of this all the time. And some of my first ice cream, well, not first, but first published ice cream recipes, I always did in this. Yeah, I bought a ton of these recoil, mainly because they come out to 0.1, kind of my jam. And they were cheap since there 10 of them in a pack. I bought a bunch of them from Thundercloud. They sent along a bunch of extra stuff when I ordered it. I ordered like, I don't know, 6 or 7 of those little tins of coils. And they were like, damn, here's a bunch of other stuff. Try this. See if he'll buy 6 or 7 of those as well. All right. I think that's good. Drop this in. All right. Jump back up. Vape on it for a minute. As always, then we'll slap it on the Trishul. Actually, let's take a look at the Trishul before we do all this. So, Hell Vape did a mechanical mod called the Trishul that I was not a huge fan of. It misfired a lot. That's why I didn't like it. So they did a V2 eventually. A lot of people didn't like this one because it was clicky. I don't know. There you go. And it's clicky because it uses a magnetic switch that works very differently than all the rest of them. This just pops off. Hell Vape does. I wonder if I have the Hell Vape key. You can use like ceramic tweezers to get in here and turn this off. I do. But they gave you a little plastic key. It says Trishul V2 on the other side. Actually a little bit easier with this key than using ceramic tweezers. There we go. So there's your contact. There's a magnet. I don't know why the button didn't fall out. Let me figure that out. There we go. It's just kind of up in there. So here's your button. You do have a canted spring on the inside. Not a fan of canted springs. I get why they used to always use them. But down the road, if you screw them up and you don't have a replacement, they are extremely hard to find, if not impossible. So yeah. So how this one works, normally when you have magnetic springs or a magnetic switch, the poles are flipped. So they're not pulling against each other, they're pushing. So it basically makes a magnetic spring. But this one is different. They are the same poles. So they're pulling each other, trying to make contact. The hole in the top magnet is smaller than the bottom. So your switch actually pushes it away and the other magnet pulls it back down. What was the question? Oh. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a simple switch, but it's a very cool concept. It's a very cool way to use or to design a magnetic switch. And I'm kind of shocked that nobody else has done one like this. Maybe because so many people are kind of anti the clickiness of it. And I'm not sure why. I don't really care about clickiness with it. But yeah, there were quite a few people that didn't like the clickiness. All right. So there is the Trishul. This one, obviously, didn't see the inside to it. It is copper. It is Delrin lined. The top portion is not, though. Companies, if you're going to Delrin line the tube, Delrin line the bottom of the 510 top plate there. Okay, now we can vape on the drop V2. Oh, definitely got to turn that up. And turn my airflow down some. So you essentially have 4 layers of, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 layers of 4 honeycomb airflow hole openings. That's a lot of airflow you can pump into this thing. This is also a really good atomizer if you want to build like stupid low, because you have enough airflow in there to kind of not make the top cap ridiculously hot from that kind of low build, but then also doesn't kill the flavor. Sometimes you have a smaller atomizer, say 25, we'll just go 25, and you build crazy low, the heat will kill the flavor because it just does. It's just too hot, and so you don't get as much of the flavor because of all the heat. Oh, go up. Yeah, that's very good. Tim, you will love the Hexone V3. I've rocked mine with the potentiometer at 100% with 0.2 ohm coils. Mad Stallion 666, what's up? But, I don't mind the clicking, but it's a deep push button for sure. It is. You do kind of have to push up in there. All right, let's crank this up higher. Make sure it's not going to scream and yell at us, and then we'll throw it on Trishul V2 and see how it does. I have not used the Trishul V2 in a minute, so we'll just go at 100 watts. Thought it'd tell us one way or the other. Who said something about the Taurin? Oh, Mad Stallion 666. I still rock my Taurin V1 mech. Maybe one of the best mass-produced Chinese mechs. It is a very, very good mech. I really dig the Taurin Max. Like, I think I like the Taurin Max more. It hits harder, and I don't know. I like the look of the V1 better than the Max, but both of them are extremely good mechanical mods. Definitely some of the best Chinese made ones, like mass produced, like you said. Yeah, that's really good. It's not screaming at me. It will, this atomizer will kind of kill crackle unless you're going really low or you wick light. I don't really know what it is about this one. Maybe it's just it's so tall and there's so much space inside there. Grab a battery out of here. We'll go with, oh wait, I want to save that one. We'll go with the Molicel P50B. All right. Actually, let's strip a little bit. It's just such a smooth hitting RDA. That's probably one of its biggest things. Just really, really smooth hitting. Tar Max has a better grip, but I only have a couple of the V1s. V1s are damn good. I know some people didn't like them because I guess they were worried if it vents, you're kind of screwed, but I don't know. I don't usually worry about that. I think it's time to rebuild my early bird Sparrow RTA. Has a metallic taste. Does that mean the coil is done, or will it be okay again after a rewick? Has a metallic taste? It could be, I don't know what kind of coils you're using, but it could be some of the smaller wires that broke and aim at the window. Window's closed. I need to put the ventilation fan in there, and then it wouldn't be so vapory, but then it wouldn't be the Vaporworks lab. But if like some of your smaller coils and say an Alien had started to break, those areas near there will get hotter than the rest of it. And yeah, it'll kind of give you that metallic taste. So it may be the coil. If you dry fire it and you notice little cracks all through the coil, like just where it'll look, you'll be able to tell the wire there has broken. Probably time for new coils. 0.353 millimeter coils. Yeah, I would dry fire them and see. Yeah, give them a good scrub and washing. I dig this setup. They look good together. But yeah, Trishul's just, it's a good mech. It's not great, it's not outstanding, not harder, it's not super hard hitting. But it's harder than this thing does. But I like the Arcless Copper V2. It's all right. But Trishul hits harder than it. Like it's on par with the Dreamer as far as how it hits and performs. Top cap on this thing is ridiculously simple to get off. Like the O-rings don't hold it on super tight at all. And to adjust the airflow, the knurled portion of the top cap, you have to turn it. The top cap itself will not turn at all. No problem at all. Hopefully it just needs a rewick and the coils to be cleaned. But yeah, if you see a bunch of those little breaks in the coils when it's glowing red hot, time for some new coils more than likely. My tarns are red, brass, and black. I have a copper one, and I have a like the black and white mixture. It almost looks gray to me. Then of the Max, I've got a black, a white, and I can't remember what the other one is. I haven't pulled it down, so I think it's red, if I remember right. The black and white ones are the ones I mainly use. I like putting Drop Dead V2 with the murder splatter on the white Tarn Max. All right. Now, you guys want to do the V1 or the V2 of an RDA for vaping first? I guess we could just do it in order, V1, then V2. Won a Grimm's Boosh boxes recently, and he sent me a Ronin X3 mech. Nice. Let's say, what's the Robin mech? Just I can't read. Sounds good. Yeah, let's do V1 and then V2. And with the V1, we can kind of look at why he even wants to do a redesign. Okay, first things first here. I don't know if you can tell, but the deck here is slightly off center. One side is over farther than the other. This side is over farther than this side. Somebody complained about the corners of the deck too in his little post. Never had any problems with the corners of the deck. Need to round those off or anything, but it is off center a little bit for sure. But it's not like a huge amount. The main thing with this RDA is the AFC ring. So it came with 3 of them. Just your top screws off right there, and then it just pops out. So the various rings just covered up some of these. So you had 1 hole, 2 hole, and then 3. I always like 3 hole. The inside, kind of nitrous like, or the nitrous is kind of RDA for vaping like, where it compresses the chamber down by the airflow coming in some. But because this is just a thin ring, what would happen is condensation from the holes of the inside here would get underneath this ring, and then it would drain down. So your atomizer always looked like it was wet. It always looked like you had just runoff. Even though you didn't have any leakage coming out or anything like that, you didn't accidentally drip on it, doesn't matter. It's eventually going to look wet. That was kind of the biggest thing for me with this one. I love this RDA, but yeah, it does end up kind of with liquid condensation all over the top cap after a while. Love the look of it. It is a gorgeous atomizer. All right, back these out more than they already are. It is hex, which I've said 1,000 times I love, because they're just so much less likely to be stripped. And also, once you've got your key or your driver in there, it's not really going to come loose like flathead. I hate doing flathead on camera because I'm blind, so it's hard for me to do it. So every time you see me do a build with flathead, just know I'm struggling, by God. All right. Aliens, yes. These are not recoil coils. These are some coilology aliens. And we're going to do it the coil turd way, which is we're going to cut it at 4, slam it to the deck, and then tighten it down, and we'll use our coiling rod to pick them up off the deck. So they're just barely off the deck. So if you ever got one of these, the loaded version, I think is what he called it, it came with coils already installed, and and it came with cotton already done up. Although he had cotton in it, but the coils had never been dry fired. That was always kind of one where I was like, well, now I got to take the cotton out and redo it. They clearly have not been dry fired. But one of the ones I got that way, I was like, hell with it. I'm just gonna juice it and go, and it did fine. So Stephen Lane, what is up? I'm doing good. What's up, Quilly? You both showed up just in time for the 2 RDA for vapings. Too much liquid on my hands there. Slick. and not in a good way. So, yeah. Turn it and then pick them up some. That way, they're just barely off the deck. And that is what I call the coil turd way. Coil turd way of building a deck. Or building on a coil turd deck. There we go. All right, make sure they're both off the deck. There we go. Looking good. So these should come out to 0.1, sometimes 0.11, and sometimes 0.09. Kind of hoping this one comes out to 0.09. Usually when you cut them at 4 or 4.5, it comes out to 0.09, but we'll see. We shall see. Minus the weeping, I still enjoy the V1 over the V2. I just prefer the V2 whole airflow. I'll get to it when I'll talk about how absolutely genius I think the airflow. These are all kinds of off. I wasn't even paying any attention. Still off the deck. Yep. Okay. I think the airflow for the V2 is absolutely ingenious. He just never did anything more with it. Or maybe he wanted to and he just couldn't. There it goes. I don't know what it is about coilology coils, but a lot of the time you end up with hot spots on the inside that no amount of strumming on the outside will get rid of. Sorry, I'm not talking. I'm in like the get rid of hotspot zone. But I think that did it for us. And like it came out to 0.11, so that's all right though. Turn it up a little bit. And our Pro Vape Cotton. Great install, looks pristine. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. I don't want that piece. Get my rat's nest of cotton here. So crazy how. I mean, look at that. That's nuts. Although some of that right there might have been me trying to untangle the rat's nest. See what's going on. I like how he designed the V2 airflow. Just, yeah, Steve, 100%. My V2 is like a dog whistle no matter where I place the coils. That's why I don't like just slit airflow. I don't know. I thought like that was an old school thing. You weren't, nobody was going to go back to that. But boy, some people love it. I got great flavors out of this RDA. The V1, yeah. 100%. All right. I don't need much in the way of wicks with this one. Normally, I end up with wicks that are actually longer than I need. I think that's the case here too, but it'll be all right. Little Mike Vapes under action. But now I find myself like these little, like I saw Birdman, like roll them up like that and then just set them off to the side to be thrown away later. I have totally stolen that because for some reason I never even thought about doing that. I would just try and hold on to them and flick them off my hand into the trash. That way it's so much easier. Oh, come on. Why is it the last wick that's always like, nope, no Mike Vape split for you, sir? Looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. All right, this one, we're going to do the pink lemonade on the V2. I'm going to do my blue raspberry lemonade on this because I really enjoy the blue raspberry and the nitrous with like 0.15, but I want some mech action with it as well. Just turn it up a little bit. Someone asked me why I do this for so long, like juice and fire, because I don't want to taste the cotton. Like to me, this is more breaking the cotton in than anything else. So I do it for a while because I'm like, well, that way I don't have to taste it. Lines up perfecto. All right, usual jazz. Let's go back up. So yeah, 0.11. If I'd known that, I'd have done these on the nitrous, but 0.1 did fine on the nitrous. I'm not unhappy about it. Here we go. Oh my God, so good. It is the blue ras, the one that has the Perillum sour raspberry candy in it. Yeah. This particular one, I'm about to, well, I already did release a sour blue raspberry lemonade V2 on all the flavors that does not have Loran's Tart and Sour or Perillum's Sour Raspberry Candy in it. It uses Bull City flavors, Blue Raspberry, and Wonder Flavors Sour Blue Raspberry Candy, along with Vape Train Sour Lemon and Flavor Lemonade. You tried Beecher's new RBA? I have not. You probably not going to find me trying too many RBAs from here forward. I don't know. I'm not big on 4.0s. I really tried there for a while to get into them. And eventually I just had to admit there's really only 2 Boral bridges I actually dig. And I mean, I might try some new ones. Maybe if somebody was like, no, you in particular need to try this one. But the Atemporal 4.0 is still hands down my favorite Boral bridge ever. And then I like the Odd Job as well. I have not tried the V2 or whatever. I saw Vapors Cloud said something about a V2 version of it. I don't even know if it's been released. Yeah, but I'm wondering if the new one that he's working on is what he was talking about, the redesign of the V1. But maybe he'll do it similar to the V1, but correct its issues and call it a V3. Hell, I don't know. This is really, it needs to go up. Need more wattage. Yeah, the 3-hole airflow for anywhere between, 0.12 to 0.09, even 0.08. I've had 0.08 in this and it works great. The 3-hole is just perfect for it. Stephen Lane, same here, not into Boros as hard as I've tried. Same. And I just got done trying. Like I said, somebody might be able to one day convince me to try another one. They'd have to be pretty convincing. Just because I'm just not a fan of them. I do like Boro bridges more on a mech Boro device than I do on regulated. There's not many regulated Boro devices I like either. I just don't think that whole thing, the whole Boro thing, was designed for people like me. I don't really like MTL. Even restrictive direct lung, I'm kind of on the fence about. All right. This is like always my setup for the V1. Let's take it on the Vindicator. Got some nice crackle to it. There's also, oh yeah, the Ponte. Forgot all about it. I do like the Ponte. It was mesh, so I was cool with it. Whew. But you don't mess with mesh much anymore. I really don't either. I really don't. I have a ton of the extreme mesh for the Profile 1.5 and RDTA, but I don't build it up very often anymore. Might have to do that on a live stream as well. Not sure. If I build up the Profile 1.5 or the RDTA and RDA setup, got to be squonk. Like my whole wicking method for it is kind of designed for squonking. So yeah, we'll probably do that soon. Steve-O. Borals are usually too much work for only half the flavor. Amen. I need that on a t-shirt. I built 4 this week. Nice. God damn, this is good. This is so good. I love this RDA. I really wish that here, if I kept vaping on this tonight, by tomorrow morning, it would look like I just spit juice all over it. That is really good, especially with that liquid. And I've noticed that with an RDA for vaping V1 specifically, lemon flavors just shine in that RDA. I don't know what it is about it, but they do. All right. So on to the V2. I showed you how the airflow works in the V1. It's just little thin rings, and it's kind of the thin rings are kind of the reason why it gets a little juicy. Here's the V2. I still think one of the coolest designs for airflow. So this quarter turn comes off, which is even cooler. And then your whole airflow system comes out. So that's why I'm like, man, this right here is not a whole lot of metal. Probably fairly easy specs. So why not do a bunch of different ones of these and, you know, stick them up on your site? You could do the same as this. You know, they always came in sets of 3, so you could do the same as this, 1 hole, 2 hole, 3 hole. You could do where most of it is teeny little honeycomb airflow. You could have these portions right here come farther in to compress the chamber even more. It just, there was a lot he could do with it. Because, I mean, if you had some that came in even more, where they're almost coming up over the post, maybe about that much, so you just get your coils where they're practically touching, or you could have them come in farther and do it single coil. There was so, I don't know, there's just a ton you could do with this design that he didn't do, or he hasn't done yet. Maybe he'll do it. Because he did like a bunch of those comments that people made in that post about various airflow rings for the V2, being honeycomb, the 321, all that jazz. So yeah, and it solves the whole, you know, liquid everywhere issue that the V1 had. But the problem with these is it's either wind tunnel or it whistles. And I spent, now usually I can adjust the coils to a point that the number 2s don't whistle. But a lot of times it takes a while for me to get there. All that buildup in my throat, I think it's hydration time. High past hydration time. Back these out a little bit more. I wonder if these are wide enough for the FSS. Would be an interesting build to slap in here. Oh, they are. A little too much. But I think once we reposition them, let's do it. What do you guys think about slapping these big fat bastards in here? Oh, this one I don't know. Do not want to jank these up. Honestly, I think that would work and not screw them up too much. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hell with it. Let's do it. I have another set. Yeah, I think I've already convinced myself. Let's do it. So these are 10 ply. Thank you, Hadron, for grabbing that when I dropped it. 10 ply FSS. These are the ones that would not fit in the Anunnaki without really janking the coil up. Much more than this is doing just from laying it in there. I think we can straighten them out pretty good once we adjust them into place. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So big that even pulling them in more, not gonna, oh my Lord, not gonna fuck with flavor too badly. That looks pretty sick. What do you guys think? We didn't jank them up too bad at all. Pinch that together when we fire it. Man, Timmy did amazing on the. All right. So these should come out to 0.1. Which it might come out lower. It's starting out at 0.07 with no dry fire, obviously. But Timmy's coils usually come out spot on. Let's move this so my camera quits freaking the hell out. Getting hot spots out of big fat coils like this is like my nightmare. They always show up in spots that are ridiculously hard to reach. Holmes coils had some SFCs that were multiply and they were pretty big like this, and love those coils, but they were a nightmare to get dry fired and all the hot spots out of them. Just because they always seem to pop up at the bottom or on the inside of the bottom. This one, in the end, they were well worth it. I think I still have some of those in the Drift Gen 1. They're still fine. They haven't busted up or anything like that. Taste fine, so I just refuse to remove them. I'm like, well, I guess I'm using a different Drift Gen 1. I'm not taking those coils out. Oh, I think we got it. Yeah. Look at that. Man. All right. Stop oogling the coils and wick it. These are 3mm ID coils. Now I'm pumped. They came to 0.06 in the Danny V3. That's what it initially said was, it was like 0.063. And then I measured it again and it said 0.07. So yeah, it did turn out a gorgeous blue. Camera doesn't do it any justice. It's a lot deeper than that. And on the ends, it's like purple. That be purty, I tell you what. Hell yeah, man. These hair coils are fucking killer. All right. Scissors. That's what I need. Scissors. Bam. Under for Mike Vapes and Steve. All right. I don't know if it's coming through the mic, but can you all hear my daughter's banging? And whenever I do a live stream, they always try and be quiet. And then if something happens, one of them falls or drops something, they're always kind of like, oh shit. But pretty sure the mic never picks it up, but I figured I'd ask. If you say yes, I'm not going to tell them. All right. This will be perfect for the pink lemonade. See what we came out to. 0.09. Nice. Crank this up some. Neil Pitts, what's up, brother? We're doing up some Timmy's, Twisted Timmy's 10-ply FSS coils in an RDA for Vaping V2. And I've said before, if this RDA had all those various styles of airflow rings, even if it just had the 3-2-1 and maybe some type of honeycomb, like small honeycomb, this would be probably my favorite atomizer of all time. Oop, put it in the right way. Bam. Look at that. I could have moved those way closer to the airflow. I didn't think I'd have that much room, but still think this will work good. All right, let's jump back up top. Besides, my camera is fogged up. Maximilian, what's up? All right, I'm gonna crank this up even more. Do the first pull at like 90 watts. That's really good. That whistle is not really good. Ones are these 3. Let's try a different AFC ring. Steve-O fell off his chair laughing. All right. What I missed from Heath? Any chance you've got an elder dragon you could let go? No. Ain't no way. Got a few of them, but never gonna let those puppies go. Sorry, man. That's better. I can deal with the wind tunnel over a whistle. I could try the 1. 1 has the 1. That's the 2. So now there's 2 2s in here. I guess the 1 is on this. So hard to get these out of the package. This one is like brand new. I've never even used it. This the 1? It is the 1. Let's see if the 1 really is the 1 for this build. It is. It is the Neo ring. The 1. This might be the first build ever that the number 1 ring is the one that works best for it. Might change my mind once I get it on a mech at a lot higher wattage. But there's really not a big, huge amount of difference between the rings, I've noticed. What now? Try the airflow halfway open. It may stop the whistle. You can't adjust the airflow on this at all. No, that's why the rings are like, why don't you have more? You basically get the 1 is a smaller opening, the 2's little teeny bit bigger, and the 3's a little bit bigger than that. But there's no adjustment to it. It's like the V1 of an RDA for vaping. There's no adjustment to it other than changing out those rings to either cut down or open up. Just kind of why I was shocked he never came out with more. There's no way to adjust them. Why not just release more options? But the ones for this are working great. These things are insanely flavorful. Like the coil that I've got in the single coil nitrous that I was testing this one on is an interlock alien. Probably overkill for a single coil, but hey. And it tasted amazing, but the kind of lemon zest almost that every kind of lemon flavor has somewhere was a little more prominent. It's just straight pink lemonade out of these. Yeah, that's really good. All right, and we're at like 105 watts, so I think we're good. It's not going to yell at us. And we're going to use the Vert 2 from Unicorn Vapes. Shined up all the internals of the switch before the stream. And I've got a 10 power 50 XG. This all turned out perfect to like save the strongest battery for the end. That was scary. That's one thing I don't like about the Vert 2 is it's kind of tricky to screw the switch in every once in a while when you're trying to do it, like just trying to put it on there and go backwards till you hear it click, it will spark. Like if you hit the threading just right because that battery's so close, it will spark between the negative end and the threading. Kind of shouldn't be doing that. That's mildly terrifying. All right, here we go. So actually, let's do the up close with better lighting. Yeah, looks sick on this thing. All right, here we go. Man, that's really good. These coils are ridiculously flavorful. I have to get more of these. They're expensive being 10 plies, but they are well worth the extra, what, $4 or $5 per set than like say the Fralian V2s that I normally get. Yeah. But yeah, we already kind of saw the issue with the AFC rings is with certain builds, you've got to kind of vary up the rings. One ring might whistle, one ring is air tunnel. You might find the next one works just right. If not, if I hadn't found any of these that worked just right, I would have gone back to the number 2 ring, taken the wicks out, and then adjusted the coils to get closer to that airflow. The V2 with the coils close to it seems to be a very nice pull. There's plenty of airflow, and it kind of kills that whistle a little bit, depending on the coil. Certain coils still going to whistle. This is really good. All right, guys, that is all I have for this evening. I'm trying to think. I do have, ironically enough, I was just talking about how I don't like MTL. The Blaze MTL RTA Thundercloud has sent one along to me to test and do a review for. So I'm going to do it. Maybe I will like MTL with that particular one. So yeah, if it's just one review, I'd say we'll probably still do the live stream next week. I think I can pull that off. So yeah, I'm just going to say for now, next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there will be another live stream. Don't know what we're going to do yet, but we will do something. Definitely want to have some mixing in the next live stream. So keep that in mind. But yeah, that's about it. All right. Trip a little more on these absolutely amazing coils. In an RDA that if it had more AFC rings would be, I'd say easily my favorite RDA of all time. Yes, even better than Nitrous. All right, guys, that's it. Vape on.
saw you dancing light and heavy